Good evening, everyone. Tonight we are welcoming Miss Kamala Pala. She is a mom of three boys, a certified confidence coach, and the founder of a digital agency. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining me. So let's just talk a little bit more about this book that you have out. It's Almost Gift.
That's
Tell us
Amazon.
a little bit more about the inspiration behind Almost Gift.
Well, I actually wrote my first book called Mommy's Love for You Will Always Be. And that was because, being a mom, you get inspired by different things. And one of the things that, I thought as a mom was there were not enough books for kids that look like mine,
Mhm.
black kids, because I live in the UK. While you probably have so many books, so many authors writing for black and other minority groups, we don't really have that much here.
Okay.
So I thought I'm gonna, just do my bit to add to that minuscule pool that currently
Yeah.
exists. So yeah, the inspiration was just writing for my kids and writing for children that look like me. So yeah,
Okay,
and
that's
that's
great. Yes, and then so and Alma's gift. Tell us a little bit more about what you mean by Alma's gift.
well, the name Ama could either be the Ghanaian version or the Nigerian version, which is a short form for Amarachi, or it could be a Ghanaian name. But this little girl in the book Ama, she's got a beautiful singing voice, and that is her gift. It's her talent, it's her skill, and so the idea of the book is to encourage children as well as adults to share their gifts without the fear of what other people would think. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just trying to encourage people to share their gifts.
And that is great. And as Alma is sharing her gift, is there anyone in particular that she's trying to maybe uplift or just help with the singing voice along the way?
Yes, so for her, it was it was okay for her to share with her family, her mom, her dad, but she wanted to share with her friends. But that fear of what they would think kept holding her back. So it was really important for her to share with her friends. And well, you have to read to
Yes,
find out if she finally
yes.
does.
Yeah, and that's so great to be able to utilize that as a way to, when you have friends and you're holding back, you have such a great gift and you're afraid to share it. So, and it's so important that we teach our young children that no matter whatever it is that you believe in yourself and that gift that you have to just let it out. You have to shine and be
100.
who you are. Yes,
100, 100. Like,
yes,
it's so important. And I think it's even for us grown-ups, like that fear of what people would think.
yes.
Like, what's the worst that could happen? But for me, I absolutely think the worst that could happen would be taking that gift with me to the grave. I would rather, share it and, you know, than taking it away with me and leaving
Yes.
this world without having sharing it. For me, that is worse than not, than what other people would think.
Well, that's great. Yes, and that's so true. Share your gifts while you can. I mean, this life, you don't know how long you have. So
That's
share
right.
as much and live as much as you possibly can. Now,
Absolutely.
yes, tell us a little bit more about the illustrator and how your illustrations came about. Was this one that you kind of gave direction, or did you just write and let the illustrator just bring it to life for you?
No, the illustrator is he illustrated my first book. So my other book is called Mommy's Love for You Will Always Be.
Hmm.
So he illustrated that, and I was really happy with the illustrations. So I decided I was gonna work again with him. He's called Jose Gutierrez. But all the illustrations in Ama's Gift were directed by me. I had an idea of what I wanted her to look like, even the beautiful dress that she's wearing.
Yes.
I was trying to go for the African print as well because again, I'm just so passionate about my, children that look like me to see themselves in their own culture. So yes, it was directed, and I think he did a fabulous job with illustrations because that's one of the feedback I keep getting. All the illustrations are amazing, and very happy with that.
And that's great because the illustrations also help bring the story to life,
They do.
especially with children. And what age group is Alma's Gift targeted to?
My kids are between the ages of 7 and 1. I've got three boys. So I write for them, if I can put it that way, for now, for their age group, because I want them to enjoy the stories as much as see themselves in it. So I target their age groups between, well, Alma's Gift is between 8 and 3.
Okay. And
Eight.
and and then so if we're anyone out there that that's interested in finding getting a copy of Alma's Gift or your first book, where should they go to find that?
My books are all available on Amazon. So Amazon.com, Amazon.co.uk, because obviously I'm in the UK. But yes, they're all available on Amazon. But they're also available on my website, which is my name, Kamapala, yeah, kamapalac.com. So yes, you
Okay.
can, but you can always reach out, to me on Instagram. I'm there as Kamapala C as well. So you can reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. Um, yeah, but I personally think, that personal touch between author and reader makes such a difference. So I love hearing from my readers. I love, interacting with them and seeing what, they think so that it can help me in terms of feedback. So, when I go on to write the next one, I know where,
Yes.
I'm taking it because I've got all this feedback to go with.
Yes. And in your writing process, what is your writing process? Do you have to be somewhere in a quiet spot to write, or do you get your inspiration just, maybe sitting in the room with your kids? How do you come up, how does that formation happen for you?
Well, to be quite honest with you, my first book, I actually got the inspiration while I was in the shower. I know people say it all the time, but it's no cliche. That really happened to me. I was in the shower and the words just kept coming, and I'm like, hold on, these words, what are these words? And I quickly put them down. But I don't have the luxury of sitting still because I've got young kids.
Yes.
So I really don't. I mean, I've been trying to write a self-help book for the last 2 years now, and I'm like, okay, you know what, let's put that aside while we focus on the children's books. So no, I don't really have the time to just sit and write. I write on the go. When I'm cooking, a word comes, I quickly get my notebook and put it down. When I'm cleaning the house, so it's around everything else that I write.
Okay. And then on this journey of you writing, writing your books. Now, tell us a little bit of, maybe some struggles or, roadblocks that you ran into along the way. That kind of, because I know in this writing process, when you get started, you want to keep it going, but sometimes you have a roadblock, you have
Yeah.
a writer's block, whatever the case may be, you
Yeah.
get stuck. So give us a little more of those type of things that happened along the way on your journey.
Yeah, and do you know what? I still get those roadblocks, to be honest with you. It's the time, it's the writer's block. It's real. Like you have this story in your head and you want to put it down, and then you're like, oh, So you've got those real struggles as a writer, but then you've also got the process of writing,
Yes,
especially a children's book, because it's not just the words. You also think about the illustrations, and then there's the marketing, which is a whole different, like, kind of world that I
yes,
don't want to open. you know. So
yes,
yeah, so there's always something along the way, but I think that should not stop you as an author, because if you have, this gift, or you feel like, you have a story, because there's a story inside every one of us that you want to tell. I think, if you keep it simple, like try and simplify the process so that, when those roadblocks come, you're finding a solution to them as you go along. I think,
Yes.
it makes all the difference when you just keep it so simple that, once those so problem, solution, and that's it. That's how I overcome any issues I have in life, whether it's writing, just what can I do now to fix this? And that's
And that's good. A good way to kind of think of it. Problem, solution, kind of spell it out and share it. So that's a great way to actually look
absolutely.
at it, because you try to keep children's book as simplified as possible, so
Yes.
that that they can pick up on what you're saying, and also
Yes.
and just you want it to be a joy at the same time of whatever
100%.
they're reading. So you want it to connect.
Yes.
That's great. And now, so are you planning to expound on your book babies? I call them book babies because
Yes,
that's what I call
they
mine.
are on day.
You plan to add some more in the next couple of years to your professional um authorhood. Like motherhood, authorhood.
It's honestly, Sabrina, I never thought in a million years that I was going to be a children's author. Trust me, I didn't start out to write books for kids, but there's something about when you've written your first one and you see it, it's like, oh my god, I did this.
Yes,
And then then if you even have the audacity to write the second one, you just feel like, oh god, I want to write the third and the fourth. So yes, I'm actually looking forward to the next one already. I'm like, I've already told people it's coming out, so I have to write it.
yes.
It's been written.
Well, that's good. I mean, as long as you find joy in it, and it gives you, that peace of mind, knowing that you're sharing something positive with the world.
Yes.
I say keep pushing forward and making it
Thank
happen.
you.
Because I'm
Thank
with
you.
you. Once that first one was written, it was like, oh my God, I actually really did this. And then to write the second one, it's like,
Yeah.
oh man, I actually have a second one. And so I'm with you. It's just now it's getting into that third one, but it's just something that I didn't myself didn't think that it was a long time for me just getting the first one out. So once I got that one out there, it was like, wow, okay, I'm actually now an author. That sounds crazy, but I'm an author. um, so now to continue to just kind of push forward
Yeah,
to share your stories, and just connect with people is
that's it.
amazing.
I
It's
think
amazing.
that is what pushes me. It's just the fact that I know I'm making a difference in the sense that
Yes,
I'm putting books for children like that look like me. I know I'm making a difference, and I don't want to stop. I want to, keep adding to it so that, it's not such a strange thing that a black child will pick up a book and see themselves in it. It needs to be normal. I mean, we cannot just
yes.
have the same of the same of the same. We need our children to see themselves in a positive light, like you said, in books. So, yeah, now I'm really excited because I'm like, yeah, I'm doing something great. So,
And I really appreciate your contribution, because you
thank
said we
you.
need more. We need so many more books with African American characters so that our
Yes,
children can relate and see.
yes,
We've been reading so many books ourselves as kids that didn't have
yeah,
images that look like us. So now
exactly.
I'm so glad that we're all in a space that it's like, hey, it's our time. It's
It's
our
our
time to
time.
put our books on the shelf
Yeah,
for parents to buy. And
yeah,
it's not just that we're trying to just throw this all in their face, but we want our children to be able to see images that look like them. So regardless
yes,
if you write a story that may have black and white and Asian, Hispanic,
yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
children in it, they'll still be able to see at least an image in their book that
And
looks
that's
like
not too
them,
much,
that they
isn't
can
it? It's
relate
not
to.
too much to
No,
ask.
no.
you
No,
know,
it's not. And we have nothing to apologize about. We're
Absolutely
pushing
not.
forward, we're sharing stories, and we're making a difference. So
We're making
that
a
that is
difference.
amazing. Yes, yes. So any last words before we go? I'm so thankful that you came on with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I have really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Yes,
I'm just really grateful for what you're doing because being an author, I think you come in with with expectations, and sometimes you don't really meet those expectations and you can get disheartened. But when
Yes.
people actually, like, celebrate you for, doing something that you love, I think it's so important to boost morale for authors. So I'm really grateful that you've given me the chance to be here and share my little story, and hopefully, I've inspired someone who wants to write as well. So if you are taking that journey, please do not feel like, it's rocket science, because it really isn't. If you just simplify it, keep it simple, don't be overwhelmed by it, and definitely ask for help. I think that's
Yes. That's the key. Asking for help because we don't know it all. And I
yeah,
think that when you don't ask is when you make the mistakes. And we're gonna make mistakes no matter what.
yeah,
But it's nothing wrong with asking. Don't be afraid to ask, especially
yes.
on this journey as an author. There's so many pieces that you just don't even understand. If you don't ask, you have no clue.
No
And so,
clue.
and that's speaking from experience. Speaking from experience. So now that I know, I ask, I read, I join the different groups on Facebook and just
Yes,
follow because it's such a wealth of information. And I
yes,
just appreciate the fact that people are sharing. And so I'm
yes.
just like a
Thank
sponge.
you.
So
And I'm
yes,
coming for you, right? I'm definitely coming back to you like, hello.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, again, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank
Kamapala, for
you.
joining
Thank
me
you.
this evening. It
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure having you, and
Pleasure,
I look
pleasure.
forward to the next journey that
Thank you.
your next book, baby, that you
Thank
get
you.
ready to release.
Thank
In
you.
the near future. So, thank you again for joining me. You have a great evening.
You too. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
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 Everyone, again, that was Kamapala. Her latest book is Alma's Gift, and you can be able to find that on her website at kamapalac.com, as well as follow her on Instagram. And again, thank you guys for joining me again for another episode on my authors series. Peace and blessings. Have a good night.